Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. Today's project is this cute little box saying love you more than, and then inside says chocolate and has some lovely chocolate hearts in there too, with another little peek at the designer series paper on the bottom. So what I've used for this, the designer series paper is called Like an Animal, has lots of lovely animal prints, some of which are foiled, and then on the opposite side then you've got a matte design similar to the foiled design. So lots of lovely animal prints on there, but if you don't like the super shiny, you've got the option of using the other side. I've also used the dies from Love You More Than, and this set's been around for quite a while, but it's fabulous. There is a coordinating stamp set, but I've not used that, just the dies. The other dies I've used for those lovely stitched hearts are from Give It A Whirl. So all sorts of lovely stitched dies in there to make interactive cards, or you can use these dies on their own too. Lots of stars, hearts, clouds, etc. So great fun, great set of dies to have in your stash. I have made this one with basic grey card, and the final box measures 3 inches by 3 inches by 3/4 of an inch, and I made it that size so that I could get 2 from a sheet of A4 card, because you need a piece that is 8 1/4 inches in length by 4 1/2. So you can get 2 of that from a sheet of A4 and have another strip or 2 left that you can use for your die cuts on top there. Okay, and obviously I've used real red card for the other die cuts. So I'm just going to stick with using my paper trimmer, and as I say, 4 1/2 by 8 1/4. On the short side, I want to score that, let's get that cutting blade out the way, at 3/4 of an inch on both ends. So 3/4 of an inch, like so. On the long side, again, I want 3/4 of an inch. I'm just making sure I've got that well butted up there. Then 3 3/4, 4 1/2, and then 7 1/2. There we go. Nice and easy. I'm just going to burnish these lines, and then we can do a little bit of cutting. Oops, just a bit of a craft avalanche, like an avalanche, but it's craft supplies. So this is a nice little Valentine's treat box, but doesn't have to be for Valentine's. It could be any time of the year where you want to remind someone that you love them more than chocolate, which in my opinion means you love them a lot. I love chocolate. So doesn't matter which way round it is because they are symmetrical. And just want to cut up those 2 score lines there and take out a little wedge either side. All right, and then I will do exactly the same on the other side. straight up just to that next horizontal score line, like so, and chop a little wedge off either side. Okay, and that will be our kind of hinge piece. Then at the ends, just chop up like so, and again take a little wedge off either side. A wedge like so, and then just do exactly the same at the other end. A wedge like so. And last one. Like that. Okay, so what you are now left with is that. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of the decoration before I actually do the assembly, and I've already gone ahead and put tearing tape on these pieces just to speed things up. Give it a little rub to make sure that it's fully adhered, and then just take that backing off. Okay, so this is going to be the top of my box. So I'm just putting that on there. Okay, and I want to put a piece on the front, just using my little pot of glue on there, and I'm doing that before I assemble so that I can bring in my double oval punch and create that little notch there to make it easier to open. And you need to do this before you assemble because you'd never get it in the right place otherwise. Okay, so just lining that up to take a little bit out like that. Okay, so now we can glue the rest together and then take it from there. Do the rest of the decoration. So I'm just putting glue on those two little tabs and fold that up like so. Hold it for a moment, let the glue set. So, liquid glue is my glue of preference, but totally up to you if you would rather use tearing tape on all of it or use snail, no, it's not called snail, what's it called? What was it called? Stamping seal, or it would probably be Stamping Seal Plus actually, to make sure that it gives a good hold on there. So again, so I have simply decanted some multi-purpose liquid glue into a little pot just because I find it easier sometimes. Like so. Okay, so we've now got the base of our box there. I can just go ahead and put this piece inside. Just not necessary, it's just a nice little extra touch, isn't it? Makes the box look a little bit more special if you've got the designer series paper in the inside too. There we go. And then to close the box, I'm actually going to close the box, then put my glue on those two tabs, not too close to the edge because I don't want it squishing out. That's a technical term in Scotland. You don't want it to come out and go where it shouldn't go. Okay, so I've got a nice neat join there because I've got it, I'm essentially building it around the base, so it will be nice and snug and won't flop about too much. I like to give these pieces here a little extra push once they're in place so that they don't stick out quite so much. Alright, so on with the rest of the decoration. I've got more strips to add round there, and I've also got another bit to put on there so that the thumb notch doesn't look quite so obvious. So these are the same size, 2 7/8 by 5/8. So just pop them around the top as well. There we go. I've got so much reflection coming off that I can't see if it's straight. One on the back. Squish that along a little bit. There we are, and the final one on that side there. So now all we need to do is our die cuts, and again I'm going to do the red and basic grey, and what I'm going to do is this die cuts like this. So it's one die that cuts out the 4 words, but it does them separately, so you can arrange them however you like. Okay, I, rather than have to go around and put glue on all of the individual pieces, I am using one of our adhesive sheets. Let me just get it started so that I know which side's which. I've been using these quite a lot recently, so you'd think I would know which side comes off and which one doesn't. I think it'll... Right, so I want to... I don't want to have to put... Oh, I'll just do it. I was going to say, I don't want to put just a tiny little bit on its own. So which way round does this go? Let's do it that way. Okay, so just popping that on there, and this bit on there. Okay, so I've got a little bit of gap, but I think it'll actually fit in there. Yeah, it does. Right, so I'm going to die cut that. I have already used up some of my little bits of adhesive sheet to stick onto the back of a piece of real red to do the chocolate, and then I'm going to die cut those 2 hearts, and then I'll put it back through again to do another heart. So bear with me and I will be back in a moment. Okay, so I have die cut those 4 words. Oh, come out, come out. I did have to run it through my mini die cutting machine a couple of times just to make sure that it cut through the card and the adhesive sheet. So I just rolled it through and then rolled it back, and that was okay. Alright, so I can get rid of those leftovers. And I've got 2 little hearts and 1 larger. Okay, and then this one. Chocolate. And I need to make sure that I'm taking out all of those little bits and getting rid of them so that they don't stick on anywhere. Okay, so final bit of decoration, and just deciding where you want to put all those pieces. Can't believe after all that, still got a bit in there. Love you. More than. Yeah, we'll do it that way this time, just to be a little bit different from the original. And it's a case of peeling off the backing on that adhesive sheet and just putting it down where you want it. Nice and easy. And no messy glue oozing out from your die cuts. Just takes a moment or two to find the end, peel that off, and you've got your lovely sticker. Oops. There we go. So this bit doesn't have the adhesive right to the corner, but that doesn't matter. Probably wouldn't have done that if I had glued it anyway. So all of the measurements for this box, and of course the products that I've used, will be in my blog post, and there is a link to that blog post in the description bar for this video. Just this last one to do. So if you click on the More button, you'll get a link to the blog post, link to my shop, etc. And if you have enjoyed today's video tutorial, then I would really appreciate it if you gave me a little thumbs up. If you've got time to leave me a comment, then that would be fabulous. And if you're new to my channel, then I'd love for you to click on that subscribe button. Make sure that you click the bell and you'll get notification of the next time I upload a video tutorial too. So, which one do you prefer? The spots or the stripes? I hope you've enjoyed this. Until the next time, take care. Bye bye.